I must confess that before I came, I was also very nervous because I spent the last 2 days coughing my lungs out and having lost my voice. But I told myself I'm going to make the choice to come here. No, actually, I didn't have a choice because Wendy is, she's not going to let me not turn up. So let's look at choices here. I mean, we make choices every single day, isn't it? I mean, we're in a room of professional speakers, and so many of you have made the choice to go into this profession. Now, let's start looking back. I mean, for those of you who have done exceptionally well, you'll be very heartened that you made the right choice. But there are some of you who may not be doing as well as you like, and that you'll be wondering whether the choice you made, was it worth it? Are the rewards worth the risk? So what we're going to look at today is to look at situations that come into our lives. Because situations, there is a good side and there is a not so good side. And depending on how we look at things, it will impact the results that we get. And so we're going to look at how we look at things. And to do that, we're going to look at 3 things. So the first thing we're going to explore are the problems in our lives. See, too many problems. The second thing we're going to look at are the challenging people we face. Now don't look at the person next to you, all right? We hold it there. And the third thing we're going to look at is the voice that lies within. So are you ready for number 1? Are you ready for problems?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is to make a list of all the problems we have. The time starts now. Okay, we're not going to do that. Okay, we are going to look at small problems. And why am I focusing on the small problems? Because the mega adversities that come into our lives, thankfully, they don't happen very often. And also when it comes at us, because we are so focused at it, we are often amazed at how it brings out the hidden strengths and resources within us. However, it is the small problems that fly under the radar, that creep out at us, the seemingly invisible irritants that chip away systematically at us. Like a river cuts through the mountain, it erodes our confidence. And that's what we want to look at. And to do this, I'm going to tell you a story. A story about a client of mine. And he shared that the first job he had was manning the customer service counter, in a shopping mall. These guys that want you to pay attention to them. The interesting thing is, since the first day at work, every single day, there would be people coming to the counter asking if there was a particular product that was sold. And it happened so relentlessly that his colleague sitting next to him actually complained, oh my God, if only we could put a sign there saying there is no such product. But the interesting thing is, 1 month later, he resigned. What do you think my client did? Yes. Short of begging, borrowing, and stealing, he actually raised enough money to set up a shop selling the same product in that shopping center. And it's not surprising, today he is a very successful businessman. So why am I sharing this story with you? Again, in every situation, one person sees a problem, the other person sees a opportunity. So which one do you tend to focus on? Problems or opportunities? Now let's look more at problems here. Because do you know that more than 90% of all inventions are based on problems? Yes? See, look at all the daily inventions that we take for granted. Have you been to NTUC lately? Have you used the shopping trolley?
Yes.
Right? Very enthusiastically. Very good. Because do you know the story of that shopping cart or trolley? No. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Something we often take for granted, because in the 1930s, There was a supermarket owner named Goldman. It's a very nice name for Chinese, right? So Mr. Goldman, he had one big problem. He was facing financial ruin. And because people were not buying enough at the supermarket. So one day late at night, he was thinking, how do I get people to buy more? And then an idea came to him. I'm gonna, if I give them bigger baskets, they are more motivated to put stuff in. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right. But then if he did that, there would be another problem. What's the problem?
Heavy.
Too heavy. And so he thought to himself, okay, so then how can I make it easier? And that's the idea. Where he decided, I'm going to put wheels under the basket. And it's quite amazing that one idea made him a multi-millionaire in the 1930s. Can you imagine? He made far more money from this one idea than his entire supermarket business. So I'd like you to relook at problems here, right? Because problems often are the gateways to opportunity. And now remember the list of problems I asked you to write down? Now, can you think of at least one problem that you're currently facing in your life? Do you have? I see some people with nodded heads, some people with a stoic face. Now, for those of you who don't have problems, raise your hand. Because if you don't, we're going to put you up here, yes, and we're going to worship you. Right? Because the rest of us mere mortals, life has problems. Right? But you have wings, you have wings. Fantastic. So what I would like you to do is turn to the person next to you. And you're going to do one thing. Share with that person one problem. If you have more, you can do it after the session. Okay? So share one problem and have the other person give you at least one opportunity that he or she sees. And then we would swap. Are you ready to talk about problems? So turn to your captive audience next to you. Share one problem.
I'm always trying to do so many different things.
I hear a lot of secret negotiations going on. So tell you what, shall we move on and take this opportunity to move on?
Yeah.
Right? So that we have, we move on to the second one. Are you guys good with problems so far?
Yes.
Just one note. A lot of these things that I'm sharing with you are not new. All of you who are professional speakers, you work with people. You help them to evolve solutions. You give suggestions. But the thing is, a lot of us, we fall into the trap of being professional advisors. But we may not apply what is it we preach into ourselves. And that's why sessions like this are so precious, because this is me time. And I'm going to ask you to take the opportunity to have deeper reflection. And so let me just share with you one magic question. Every time you meet a problem. And this magic question is more powerful than Harry Potter's wand.
Wow.
Because when you wave it, you can uncover the hidden opportunity in any problem. You look quite intelligent. You know what it is?
I want to hear from
You just specialize in supermarket trolleys.
Yes.
And great ideas. So whenever you see this problem, ask one question. WT, not that? WTO, which is, see, now this is a problem. I know, an opportunity for me, for Cohen to rise to the occasion. Yes. So the question is, always ask, what's the opportunity in this? The amazing thing is we often underestimate the simplest of questions. And when you ask that question, your mind then becomes focused at uncovering the opportunity. And you'll be amazed, at how much more creative and confident you will become. So now we're good with problems. Shall we move on to those challenging people around us? Those challenging people. I'm sure as professional speakers, you've come across so many of them, especially in your audiences. And I'd like to share with you a story that I'm sure quite a lot of you can relate. Because I was facilitating a masterclass And there was this one guy that seemed hell-bent on going against every opinion that was put on the table, the class as well as mine. And I could see that people were getting visibly irritated and defensive. I mean, I'm a professional, so I can maintain my emotions, but I need to do something. That's when I asked the class, what do you learn more from? Reassuring and comforting things, or uncomfortable, challenging things? And the class had a discussion. And then they shared. But before I reveal the answer, I'm going to ask you that question. What do you think you learn more from? The comfortable or the uncomfortable? See, you guys are APSS, right? You know it. We all know this instinctively. But emotionally, it may be otherwise. We learn more from uncomfortable people and situations. Because when we meet with a comforting idea, we relate to it because it resonates with our worldview, it's aligned to what we really think, it reinforces the way we think. But when we meet somebody who is challenging, somebody who puts a different viewpoint in front of us, actually, it helps us to expand our mental horizon. It helps us to grow. So it's no surprise that the highest performing teams and the best business collaborators are when there is a collaboration of people with diverse viewpoints. And I know that very well because I work with a very challenging guy. So, my co-director who happens to be here today, we fight all the time because we have such different personalities and viewpoints that we agree on very little. However, I would have to say it's because we are so different, and that's why our business has grown year on year for the last 7 years. And we have managed to open offices in the US and India, and we are going to be opening the next one in Europe very soon. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting. And I've actually shared this viewpoint with him, and he has another business partner in another business. And they have been going strong for 22 years. But he and his other business partner are also very different. So here's the tip. Whenever you meet somebody who's challenging, instead of defending your viewpoint to death or feeling just a bit overwhelmed, I'm going to ask you to take a step back and just ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And so that's the key thing. I'm going to invite you to think whether you have people in your life that challenge you. Do you? See, those of you who are not, congratulations. For those of you who don't have people who challenge you, then you need to start cultivating some. I mean, you want to know a shortcut? Look around this room. I mean, in APSS, there are bound to be very challenging people here. Okay? I'm sure that there are people who will present a different viewpoint. So would you like me to do this exercise and ask you to sit next to the most challenging person you know in this room?
Yeah.
Wendy's looking at, so Wendy is also giving me that challenging look. So I'm going to be very nice, and we'll save this for after this event, okay? All right, find that challenging person. And now that we are great with challenging people, let's look at the third thing, which is that voice within. Excuse me. And to do this, I am going to give you a challenge. Okay? Since this is the last session for today, we're going to end on a high, and I'm going to give you, Colin, enough. And I'm going to give you, it's going to be a group competition. But it will take only 10 seconds. Okay? And this is the challenge. Well, before you flash it, I am going to put the challenge up here, but there's going to be two parts. One, after I give you the challenge and you look at it, all of you have 5 seconds to think. 5 seconds to think how you're going to do it. Okay? But no talking during this 5 seconds. Are you ready for the challenge?
Yes.
So look around in your groups. Well, this group is really lucky. There are just 2 of you. All right. All right. So from the word go, this is the challenge. From the word go, have one member of your team reach the lobby of the hotel in 10 seconds. Stop. 5 seconds of thinking. Okay, before you go, I would like you to think, what were you thinking during that 5 seconds?
Blank.
And it's quite interesting, right?
Who will go?
So what were you thinking? There's some of you who immediately sprung to action. What about the rest of you? What were you thinking? How do you move away? Right? Get somebody else to do it. You know? Yes. Because what you were thinking, I know you're very excited and we're going to be doing this challenge but in our dreams, right? Because the real challenge here is to figure out your instinct in those 5 seconds. I've actually done this challenge in various countries in Asia Pac, and people tend to fall into 2 categories. There'll be one group that would ask, can I do it? Can it be done? Right? And there'll be another group that goes, how can I do it? Let me do it now. Which one of the 2 groups are you? Now, these 2 questions are very similar, right? Can I do it versus how can I do it? There is only a difference of 1 word. So now let's look at can I do it? When you ask the question, can I do it? You are actually looking inward and questioning your capability. Now, in fact, you're questioning your perception of your capability. Because in life, we often don't know what we're really capable of until we're pushed to the edge. But for those of you who sprung to action, for those of you who started to think, how can I do it? You assumed it can be done, right? And the mind focuses on how to make it happen.
Solutions.
And you'll be amazed at how much more solutions focused you become. So this is what I'm going to invite you to look within, to find that voice within. In life, what do you ask more of? Can I do it? Or how can I do it? You want to hear the good news? Look back into your childhood. Do you know that young kids under the age of 7 are born with the solutions-focused questioning? How many of you have kids? How many of you were kids before? So all you need to do is to go back into who you were. This is my 2-year-old son, and his sidekick is my 1-year-old daughter. And every day I'm amazed at how confident and creative they are. And they get up to so many tricks. But just go back into that under 7 years old, and you'll naturally be able to do it. So I've just covered 3 situations very briefly. And I want you to remember those 3 magic questions that can help you to turn any obstacle into an opportunity. Number 1, when you meet a problem, ask yourself, what's the opportunity in this? When you meet challenging people, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And thirdly, when you are encountering an unfamiliar or new situation, the first question you ask is, how can I help? Ladies and gentlemen, just remember that the results you get is based on the questions you ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for a great session. We also asked Karen to give men one advice on how to live better with women. And that's what she said. Laughter adds to the longevity of any relationship, but never laugh at your wife's choices. You are one of them.